right. Hello, wonderful good morning. Welcome to this little forecast. So let's get prepared for the trading session ahead. As you can see against white, we have retraced from the designated area, which we outlined yesterday. So two scenarios are on the cards. I'm going to cover them quickly. For the one hand, we have this as the 1, the 2, the 3, with a steeper pullback, price coming up, filling this value area. This little gap, so price bottoming out here and moving to the upside. That is the move on the one hand. This second hand is that this could be 1, 2, 3 into this next low before we eventually retrace. On the forward chart, we can see nice forward structure. As Mark said in the S&P, technically this with the filled gap and everything, this had all the ingredients to push down and essentially sell off very aggressively. So the reason we retraced here is not really surprising. And so this might be the start of this little sequence to the upside. So we're going to get our answer very quickly today. And this gives me more reason to believe this is like an inverse head and shoulders pattern, where basically we might come back down, have this as a 1 hour chart, 1 hour flag, and then we go to the upside. I am pretty bullish on the DXY for as of right now, unless we do something like that, where basically this becomes an ending structure. Then we're going to have to be a little bit careful, because then this could basically sell off and this becomes a V shape, which at the moment to me is pretty unlikely. So we gotta just see what we form. It's gonna give us a very clean direction for all the dollar crosses. First up being Aussie dollar positions right at the top of this V shape. So we finished on a high test yesterday. We were initially looking for this as the double top and the sell-off in here. So price had other plans. There were more orders for price to take out. So am I gonna jump into this first flag in here? No, I'm not gonna do, because we're still trading above this high. So all I want to see is basically a further push down and then followed by the second continuation. And I want to enter maybe towards today's New York session. So this is going to get very interesting. Maybe this afternoon, preferably trading as low as possible. But we need to see at least like a 15-minute continuation. Just like so. Temporary stop loss should be fine. If we get a risk entry, I'm obviously going to prefer the risk entry. So any second continuation in here is going to be fine to take. And that should be still very, very early on into this overall run to the downside. Pound dollar, basically the same. So we just had like another double top. Price sold off in the night. And it is now about the second continuation. Gotta be a little bit aware of this low though. So depending on where we're gonna form this one, maybe need to see a little bit more structure. So either way, it's gonna be above this ray line and we still can manage our position to break even towards it. Or what I would actually prefer is this whole structure then sitting below. That is, by the end of the day, the most confirmed we're gonna get. So let's place it here. If we form it up there, that is fine as well. So we gotta see where we're gonna take this. Aussie dollar, pound dollar, we can take this one on watch, although it is not in the area just yet. So dollar CAD. I was initially looking for the short on dollar CAD, and I'm still looking for the short because this daily profile is looking very, very bearish. And we still have couple open gaps. Like we haven't taken out this one, and we haven't really had any pullback just yet. So I do see this as potentially the start of like a pullback. So we might see this towards the middle of the week. I don't really think this is the best structure to now go long, although we might have a rising dollar, which would carry dollar cat as well. This is not really coming off of any value area, so I don't particularly like buying dollar cat here. Just want to see how we react. Although like the low time frames might actually be clean, but overall this is like not the area where I now want to start. Like if you like take a look at all this selling pressure, I don't want to now randomly go long in there. I think buying dollar cat would be like a recipe for disaster, although it's tempting. Canadian slowly appreciating, and there was like an overnight position maybe, although we didn't really fill the gap here. Not really. So don't really know how to play this one because actually we're overdue for like a little pullback. So preferably we do get that to this. If I'm gonna just very briefly flip this one, this looks a little bit like the corrective start to a larger 4-hour structure. Just take the rail line in here. So this to me looks like a little bit like the start towards this type of structure. So that would be our like tomorrow play. But overall, this would be a great area to buy Cadien from. I would be all over that. But that is not for the day. Same goes for Euro Yen. This is like slowly approaching this first inflection zone. So we're gonna pop in an alert in there just in case. Depending, let's monitor this throughout the session. Aussie Swiss was in an amazing area for a sell. Like this is pretty good. And on the low time frames, we started yesterday to see some retracements. So it is always good to have a rejection at these areas, but we didn't really sell off just yet. So I was waiting for price to close below, form some continuation. I've covered this one in the forecast yesterday. And now I'm still looking at this to be like maybe a daily play, but we would need like this closing. Today's candle would need to close as like a big high test, bearish preferably. Then we can take that as genuine 30 pip stop loss, and that would be then our swing style type of view. Could think about that. If we go now long on the DXY, we obviously need to take a look at euro dollar short, but we left a gap in here, which kind of concerns me a little bit. That's why I'm not immediately jumping into euro dollar for the short. I do really believe Aussie dollar and pound dollar are going to be the better place in here, just because of this gap. Euro CAD. I did take a trade on Euro CAD yesterday, and it was a reduced risk entry in here. So that trade I will cover in the recap. This was my position running roughly 2% at best, I was aiming for this 3 to 1. So there wasn't really anything to move just yet. So couldn't really lock in any profit. Now looking back, you can argue that potentially this was the reason why price then sold off, but no, I'm still fine taking a break even here, although it's a shame it didn't work out. So now the question becomes where the new structure is. Maybe this is still going to be on the cards. I don't know, but I'm not going to be trying to like this piece of price action is pretty ugly, so I'm not going to chase anything in there. Pound Kiwi came very close to an entry yesterday, so we got this overall push down, and we started doing the V shape, which is always good. But then we didn't follow through, so this was basically all we had to do, and just form some overnight corrective sideways price action, which we didn't. Now we pushed to the upside. There was basically a little flip in there. We could have maybe taken this very, very early on today. That could be the case, yeah. So let's put this one towards the wildcards or to my missed trades. Although I kind of don't really care too much because it was overnight. Now we are in this area. So what's the next best move? I think this is still at the 50% mark, so that is fine. So for right now, push and a flag. I don't want to trade short against like this momentum with a risk entry. So what we're gonna do is wait for rejection pricing here. And this is the M15, the structure I am waiting for. That is basically the trade I want to see today. Oh yes. Then we have the Aussie 200, which is retracing. That is pretty good. Still very short on the high time frames. And this is the area I'm interested in. Preferably we do retrace a little bit and then come back up. So get a little 1, 2, 3. That would be ideal. So let's go place an alert in here and just see how we approach this area. I think it's a couple hours away, so maybe rather for tomorrow or the wildcards. And silver is actually coming closer to an entry, although it's not like for this trading session today, but should we have, oops, should we get retraces in these areas like 63, 63 and a half, that would be absolutely my preferred investment of the quarter, if not of the year. And I'm obviously gonna day trade this one as well. So that's gonna be on watch as well. So do I want to short silver for this little run? I don't really think so. So we are left with pound kiwi, beautiful 1 hour push down, 50-minute flag, and pound dollar, Aussie dollar, waiting for that push and a 50-minute flag, more so towards New York session today. So that is our mix. Pretty chill day. Stay in focus as always, and keep on smashing your day. I gotta see you tomorrow. Take care.